Good afternoon, Abbotsford residents. I'm Mr. Pelican. I'm running for Commander-in-Chief, but I'm also not only running for Commander-in-Chief, I'm also on the world stage to show why we need the RCMP and why we need these functions in our law enforcement to do its job in the Criminal Code of Canada to hold a carry sentence and await. But I'm running to remove the organized crime that lies in Abbotsford. It's one of the largest in the Fraser Valley. It's huge. It's a massive, and I made it clear. It's in our Abbotsford A.P.D. police. Guaranteed you don't even have to even look the other way. The sympathy of uniform, the manipulation, and the way it was set up by an elite establishment ring. The mastermind and engine behind it all was Henry Braun. Henry Braun, the mayor of Abbotsford, that figured he was above the law, could manipulate, and had a lot of backroom players. When he took his son Darren Brown in the city, he believed that if Darren did all his dirty work, Darren wouldn't tell or rat him out. He believed he had a loyalty, a trust there. Telling Darren for the years, you know how much money your grandpa left me? When I die, you'll inherit it. You'll inherit it. Oh, pulling the string over Darren's eyes every day. Putting his son in front of him to rush jobs for him and his friends. The warehouse tailtops were on funk and diverse. It's organized crime. When Darren got tired of it, being his dad's bitch, and not being rewarded, and saw Ross Siemens being benefited, Ross's illegal gas station tagged to mission and dumped, he knew that Henry was setting Ross up to control him through blackjack. You don't run for mayor and do what I do, Ross. I'll call the Fisheries Oceans, your dad, your assets, and all this. Abbotsford residents went to the Mission RCMP, and a little bit of the help from the Mission RCMP tripped up the Abbotsford A.P.D. and put them on their face. There's a saying, when corruption's in the bottom, it's easy to get rid of it. When it's in the top, it's hard to get rid of it. But when it comes down, it carries a massive explosion. Abbotsford Police Chief Mike Sir was Henry's top leading bitch in the Abbotsford top of the police, covering up organized crime. It was the RCMP that tipped off when Keelan Olenoff made threats to drop a lawsuit and videos that was going to get out on the world stage. And they said, Henry's not challenging the Abbotsford residents or suing you or coming at you with a defamation of character because he's got to face court. Then he can't cover it. But with Vicky Hopes and Ken, he's using it. But the RCMP's help, you know how much they help, because I showed you all the key things that Abbotsford knows. I showed you that the Greg chose the Chamber of Commerce, how he pulled the stunt to try to brave me. You know the RCMP were not far on looking and how that was going to play out. Dave Sadu at the Capriccia newspaper and Andy at UFV blocking an election. Bylaw going out and taking all my signs off of private property to help Ross. The debate blocked, you could see it. The RCMP wanted to make sure that it was out there. The sex allegation with Sandy Blue, the whipper-whapper at the sports center to help Ross. Dave Lowens crawling, big Dave Lowens. I tweeted, Dave Lowens looks like he's gonna get engaged to Ross. Every day, I tweeted Ross, jumped again, I tweeted, not Ross's wife or Ross's family. I tweeted Ross, Dave is here. Henry said to get behind you, keep tweeting. These are the things the RCMP look for, key things. I'm with you, Dave. I'm with you. Henry needs you. Oh, look at it. Crawled on his hands on private property with his big white bald head and took my signs down and put his signs up. I need to help Ross get in. Henry. The RCMP, I told him what Wall Financial Bruno said in Yaletown when Gregor Robertson was running as mayor. You can't have a developer run the council and mayor. She's a bad move. On Polygon's farm, on the Cooper Pooper farm, That was to get that decision and change it off dockets. And then Dave Lowen's, Ross Siemens, and not call Henry out because Henry knew. Put him in problems. Now they can't call me out because they know I got more strength. They know I'm tied to Ed, and Mike, and Henry. They know that. They know Vicky Hopes and I could scandal them. Look what I did to Bruce. These was the great mastermind and the ringleader of the mob, tied to the political players in Victoria and trying to get into Ottawa to the federal Conservatives, threatening residents, abusing the Abbotsford City to inflate them. But he had the SS, the Abbotsford Private Police. The Abbotsford Private Police will never get questioned. No one could ever come in the door unless we investigate and charges don't get forward. You know, the gangs and fentanyl and gangs and fentanyl and gangs and fentanyl and gangs and fentanyl and gangs. And the RCMP knew. Olenoff's threat to drop the video and lawsuit, his lie there was break-ins at Henry's house, Henry's attempted murder, the 911 call, thanks to them, you can hear it. They got it like that. Brenda Fawkes, these were all the things leaning on the RCMP. Henry fleeing the scene of the accident, not charged to lose his driver's license, allowed to sell his car. This was the top of the elite. No one will question us. Look at it, it says Abbotsford, A.P.D, the police, the police, the police. A new wave of criminal rings, a new one. These men knew what they were doing. These men weren't like honest men that work on job sites and they call each other out and they tell. These men were a buddy system, a loyal, an elite gang ring like none other, blaming everything on gangs and fentanyl and gangs and fentanyls. Let me make something clear, ladies and gentlemen. The crime rate of Abbotsford has diminished tremendously since Mike Sir and these YouTube videos have went out. You don't see Colin Watts, fentanyl, 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 gangs and gangs and gangs of fentanyl, fentanyl. You can pretty much guess that they were cleaning it and running it to take it for themselves. Olenoff wasn't going to Henry's house to be Henry's friend. There was never no break-ins at Henry's. He was taking what he could steal probably off the streets, what he could do, and take his orders from Henry of what he needed done and how he needed people framed and set up. When the RCMP saw the cancel attack on Councillor Mogel on the South Asian and the George Floyd incident in the States, they knew that I would release that to social media. But here's what the RCMP officer said, with no hesitation. He didn't say, let me think about it, and this. He knew from Darren Braun's mouth the act was going to take place, the vicious act for Henry to own the city. He knew Mike Sir was ordering the act with the task force. I'll never be questioned. Get the black vehicles out there. Get the black vehicles. You know what? Why I'll never be questioned? You're not allowed to see my face. It compromises my face. The gangs are looking for me. The gangs. So is the whole of Abbotsford. Look at me. Lock the doors. Get upstairs. Hide. The gangs. The big company. The policing. The policing. This is what a politician's supposed to do. Especially when it's on your residents, your neighbors, and your families. You're not supposed to look away from it. You boot, screw, and you kick fast. You smash them down. You saw the videos I showed you of the abuse out of the Abbotsford police, the total abuse. The mayor was running a ship for himself on job sites, massive job sites. That attack on Councillor Mogel, the RCMP guy like this said, Mr. Pelican, call it out, release the video immediately. This is against all South Asians, it's racism, it's discrimination, and it was about greed and holding that. And they believed and they knew that Mike Sir, the task force, was ordering it, and they were Henry's friends. They had too much evidence already. They're the great companies tied to the Premier of Victoria. Premier, you gotta keep us, we got land deals, land. The new buller rap came into Abbotsford. Let me tell you what the buller rap is. I told you the Abbotsford HR department, the fight in the city now, the fight between Pam and the Chambers, Josh Reynolds, and the fight going on is why the RCMP knew this end come. Everybody starts fighting and evidence rise to the top. The big fight led that showed that Ed Fast, Pacific Peak Homes, his son-in-law Devin Roy, tied into the verse, and that's why Ed didn't call this zoning change out. He knew, being a former council, the zoning changed from 200 to 400, the illegal stuff and everything Henry was doing. Oh, my son-in-law, he's tied to Peak Homes, the verse. Oh, my son-in-law Devin. Oh, look at it, get the illegal site, run it. Run the illegal site, fentanyl, fentanyl, fentanyl. She was long overdue for an explosion, long overdue. But law enforcement of Abbotsford was one of the leading ring of organized crime. That you can see with the incidents of drugs dropping, fentanyl dropping. The 71 million frauded wasn't for a new police building. My knowledge of learning from Wall and Aquilini, and above all, Mike Dakota Avani, the Pinnacles, is that you can take kickbacks. When you got a company mismanaged like Unitech, and you got cost overruns and you're not checking that cost overruns, you got the negligence that took place, you don't got, that's favoritism. In the name of policing, we want a big building. The gangs, look at the gangs when you drive through Abbotsford, how to get in the business, gang. In the name of policing. This is what they were benefiting off. Now call other police forces and say it. You can see, no Henry Brown take a picture, nobody. That buller rat. We have police in Vancouver where crime is the highest in Surrey. The new bullet rat was personally lobbied into Abbotsford for Abbotsford to get PR work off of it in videos and get on the news. That we're doing great, we're doing great. We got a farming community. We got the most Christians here, and yet we're gonna have a bullet rat because we got gangs. It ain't. It was a full bunch of bullshit. We didn't even have the grand opening of the police chief because he couldn't show, because he's got his head up Corky's ass, believing if I stand beside Corky, Corky ain't gonna call out all these illegal things. So that's what he was doing at the new building. So he can't show his face, and that's what he was taking place with. The bullet rat should have been exposed and publicly held with other police forces, the VPD chief, mission chief, and law enforcement and political politicians saying this is going to combat and help seduce suspects without harming them. And we don't need to look at beating them in the face like the Abbotsford police did. And this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to release. They didn't do it. They didn't do it, so you know it was an HR move to push that Abbotsford police up, and it was a gong show. The new bullet rat should have been released here on Ron Funk's property to tie rebar. Zap it and rebar, you're so far behind. The Abbotsford police were in organized crime, an elite establishment, ring of organized crime, threats on residents, and this is what we needed to stop. I'm live, Abbotsford, British Columbia.